gentlemen, our top story on the show this evening. Well, US President Donald Trump has signed an executive order to promote the advancement of cryptocurrencies in the United States and to work towards potentially developing a national digital asset stockpile. Remember, earlier this week, the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, announced that it had created a crypto task force aimed at developing a comprehensive and clear regulatory framework for crypto assets. Now, during the presidential campaign, if you remember, Donald Trump had promised a crypto-friendly administration for the $3.3 trillion industry. And now Bitcoin, after that announcement came in earlier this week, Bitcoin rallied on that announcement, was up some 2.4%, and it was more than $106,000. In fact, Trump, who was earlier a crypto critic in his first administration, he changed his tune on the campaign trail and attracted hefty contributions from the industry. And to discuss more on what these announcements really mean for the crypto industry globally in the United States and, of course, its ramifications right here in India, I'm now joined by Sumit Gupta, the co-founder of CoinDCX. Sumit, thanks very much for joining us here on Startup Central.
Thank you for having me, Sumita.
Sumit, so first things first, I just told you about these two announcements that came in from the Trump administration. We've seen how, the meme coin, Trump and Melania, those have also trended and, the kind of gains that they have made. But specifically talking about these announcements, what do you make of the kind of push that is being given by Trump 2.0, the recent price moves? And now where do you see the crypto industry headed?
No, absolutely, Sumita. Like I mentioned, this is a historic milestone for the crypto industry, not just in US, but globally. President Trump's new administration has made it very, very clear this is a national priority. And this has been communicated several times in the past, even before the elections, but now it's actually happening. And not just national priority, which is a big deal, but working in a direction where it will create a favorable regulatory environment for crypto assets in general. I think it will just promote innovation. And America now is clearly taking steps which will make, which is attempting to make America the world leader in crypto. Which is sort of good for the industry. But as an Indian builder in the crypto industry in India, I do believe that it's the time when India also need to take some steps and make sure that India talent, and India is, by the way, number one when it comes to grassroots adoption of this technology. India should not lose out. But overall, I do see that it is a historic milestone, something which is and the times like next few years are going to be very, very interesting. The crypto industry is going to evolve really fast because now there is support from the world's largest economy, which is working really hard towards bringing in clarity when it comes to regulations. And I think it is also going to create sort of other nations or other countries to think very, very seriously about it, because earlier people have been ignoring. But now I think it will force various countries and
but now you have the
even
US
institutions
president
to take it very,
himself
very
sort of
seriously.
putting his might all behind the
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, that crypto assets. So this is going to be interesting how that really shapes up globally as well and right here in India. But help us understand, how are investors really seeing this sector as of now, vis-a-vis equities or vis-a-vis other investment instruments?
No, absolutely. I think I have seen a clear difference before the Trump got into power and after that. A lot of people were looking at crypto, or whether it will get regulated or not. They were not sure. But just after the US elections and Trump coming into power, everyone knew that now this is an asset class which should not be ignored, because it is definitely going to get regulated. And when US is sort of going to take such positive measures toward regulations, it's just going to give good boom to the industry, good boom to the sector globally. And the asset class is a global asset class in nature, right? So, if US takes a positive lead, then it gives rise to investor confidence. It gives rise to regulatory clarity globally, and it also gives rise to other nations thinking, look, what should be their strategy? Because see, it's not about whether we will regulate it. When President Trump is saying that it is a national priority, it means that the rate of innovation that will happen in the US is definitely going to force other nations to take it very, very seriously now.
Right, Sumit. So there's been a couple of things that the Trump administration has been rather bullish on. Crypto is one, AI is one. They've also announced the formation of a company and that will invite investments worth $500 billion in AI over the next 4 years. So that is an interesting space, technology, and how that's progressing in the Trump administration. But do you expect more volatility in this sector? Because the assumption is that it's not really done until it's actually done. And hence, many analysts are actually warning of volatility until concrete crypto policies are announced by the administration.
Yeah, I mean, volatility can happen, and it is something that, crypto moves by news. When Trump got into power, we have seen how the markets have moved like 15, 20% up. But I think, that's part of the market cycles. But as and when these developments actually come into fruition, I would see that the markets will definitely react to that. Right now, there is no announcement. There has been rumors around US creating a Bitcoin reserve. When that happens, that's going to make markets extremely volatile. I do believe there has been news around US, creating a digital asset stockpile where all the companies, crypto companies that are coming out of US government will sort of invest in those. All of those are definitely going to make the asset class more volatile. But I do believe it's going to be an upward trend that we will see if those positive developments come. And if these things
So
don't actually
Sumit,
happen or do,
when you say an upward trend, let me interject you here.
yeah.
So when you say that an upward trend, what are the kind of levels that you're expecting crypto to now touch?
And don't to make me comment on the pricing, but I do believe that
Give us a
yeah,
range. Give us a
it's
range.
no, I definitely see again no financial advice, but I definitely see a price range of $150,000 to $200,000 is very easily achievable this year. Just if these things that has been communicated actually comes and gets actioned, it's very easy because I know as a matter of fact there are so many institutions in the US, so many institutions who have been wanting to take exposure in Bitcoin. I'm not commenting about all crypto assets, but particularly Bitcoin and some of the other ones are they are now a lot more comfortable with the Operation Choke Point 2.0 getting removed. Now with favorable policies around crypto, there is a lot of institutional capital that has been there on the fence, which will now enter. There are ETFs that are waiting to get approved. There are almost 30 ETFs that will come up. We have now seen Bitcoin ETF, Ethereum ETF getting approved, but Solana, Litecoin, all of these ETFs are already in the pipeline. So when that happens, automatically you'll see a lot more institutional capital or retail capital entering into this space. And let me tell you, this development is not happening only in the US, but I have seen so many other nations are also looking at crypto industry very seriously, and they don't want the talent to go away to US because as an outcome of this, there are so many entrepreneurs, builders who are now looking at, okay, let me build in the US because US is supporting this industry, which will force other countries to also take positive steps. And that is going to have a ripple effect and is going to sort of give a good boost to the overall industry and innovation happening in the sector. So I'm pretty bullish.
Okay. Okay, so Sumit, you're saying that, of course, these policy moves that the Trump administration makes with respect to crypto is going to have ripple effects across the world. And of course, that's what you're hoping to happen here in India as well. On that note, let me ask you, what are your key asks of the government with respect to the upcoming budget or any kind of policy boost that you're expecting for the crypto sector? Because as of now, if anyone is making any crypto gain from cryptos, they're liable to pay a 30% tax to the government, and there's no no getting past that. So what is your view on that, and what kind of policy asks that you have of the Indian government?
See, Sumita, I think it's very straightforward, right? The world is adopting this technology really fast. All I'm asking for is a relook at how we have been looking at the sector. I think in India, all the treatment around the sector has been very harsh. The current taxation framework is very onerous. A recalibrated investor-friendly taxation framework, which does not kill the domestic industry, domestic crypto. I think that's something that is very critical. Of course, something that safeguards investors, something that ensures that the investors in the country remain protected, and a principle-based regulatory framework. Because I know these technologies get complex, but at least a principle-based regulatory framework is something that will be beneficial to investors for their protection, that will ensure that the talent that is there in India, which is building in crypto, they will remain in India. Because if that doesn't happen and other countries start taking positive moves, in no time we'll see all of this talent and a pool of developers will just flock to that other country, which is going to be a big loss for the nation. I think one simple ask would be to just make sure that domestic crypto and Web3 industry does not get killed. And even if we don't promote it or support it, at least the framework should be such that it at least ensures that people who are building in the sector in the country are allowed to do that and are allowed to innovate within the guardrails of consumer protection, within the guardrails of compliances. All of those things is something that I think should happen. I have been building in Indian crypto space from last 8 years. I'm hoping that thousands
Right.
of builders
Right.
essentially build in the sector, which is going to make India number one, because India, by stat, India houses 12% of the
Right.
global Web3 workforce. But these developers are actually building for international companies. Why can't they
Okay.
build it for India? So I think those are the kind of things that
Okay.
will help the nation a lot.
Okay, absolutely, Sumit. They can build for India, but investor interest and investor protection, particularly that of the retail investor, that needs to be the utmost priority. And I think that is the priority of the government, and which is why you're seeing the government tread very, very cautiously when it comes to the crypto space. And on that note, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us right here on ET Now with respect to the developments that are happening in the United States. It'll be interesting to see the kind of an impact that it really has in India. And if 2025 is indeed the year when crypto perhaps will be looked at in a different light. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to step into a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.